All right. Hello, everybody. This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers. And this is the Retail Arbitrage Part 2 workshop. So I am going to be your trainer and your host. If you want to grab a notebook, feel free to do so. And we're going to go ahead and get this started. I'm just going to double check to make sure we're live in the Facebook group. And just double check real quick. I think we are, but my phone has decided it wants to do an update, so I'm trying to get around it. Yep, we are. I heard myself. Okay. All right. So this is the retail arbitrage. I don't know why it says retail. It should say arbitrage. But anyway, this is the retail arbitrage workshop. I just noticed that. Not that it's, I need to do this. Arbitrage. Arbitrage. Yeah, I think that's how you spell it. I will tell you, since having COVID, my ability to spell has just gone out the door. Things that used to be easy for me, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's how you spell that. Like now, I second guess everything that I spell, and I probably get things wrong about 5 to 10% of the time. So I thank you for your grace and mercy. All right. So this is the Retail Arbitrage Workshop Part 2. My name is Nicole Whitlock. I am the co-founder and the creator of eCom Sellers, all things eCom Sellers. I've been selling online since 2014, selling offline since 2008. I am a single mom of 2 special needs kids, and I am the vice president of a nonprofit. So from last week, we went through and was like, what is retail arbitrage? I refer to it as shopping for profits. We walked through the process of installing the seller app. We also went through the process of understanding the app and what you can see on the app. We went through and looked at a few things in Seller Central and also understanding the difference between the views on what you see in Seller Central versus Amazon.com. Here's the deal. You can actually do some research just from basic Amazon.com. Now, if you are not an Amazon seller, I want you to know that you can use this information to help you do your retail arbitrage. If you're on eBay, Walmart, Mercari, wherever you're doing Facebook Marketplace, wherever you are selling, you can still use these strategies. And you can still use Amazon.com to help you do a little bit of product research to see what the demand is for this particular product. So again, on Amazon, if the rank is low, then that means that product is moving like crazy. And the rank meaning when you scroll down into product information, there is a sales rank. It's called the BSR, bestseller rank. And you can look at the numbers, and if the numbers are low, that means that item is selling. And if the numbers are a little bit higher, then that means that item is not moving as fast or not selling as fast. So when I say a little bit higher, we'll get into that in just a little bit. And then we started talking about a couple of retail arbitrage strategies. So we're going to go ahead and take it to the next step. So retail arbitrage strategies, first of all, I do recommend that you be strategic, that you plan out your sourcing activity, figure out your driving plan. Better yet, once you figure out your schedule, like figure out which days you're going to go to which stores. So if you have a lot of stores in your area, I happen to be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so we have a plethora of stores to source from. We also have a plethora of liquidation, and we also have a whole bunch of Amazon warehouses. So I'm sort of lucky in the spot that I'm in. But I know that some of you are in rural areas, and so you don't have as many options. So based on what you do have available to you, be strategic about it. Plan out when you're going to go out and do your retail arbitrage and which days. So if you are far away, like it's an hour drive to even get to any major city or even the next small town or whatever, then plan that out. Figure out if you're going to do that on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, just 2 days a week, 4 days a week, whatever you're going to do. Once you like make friends with some of the store managers, that is one of the things that's going to help you to figure out when's the best day to actually go to these stores. So map it out, figure out your drive route, because as part of your drive route, you might be passing some stores that have some potential. Even those small mom and pop stores, they may actually have some potential in there for you to be able to find some products that you could be selling. I'm just saying. Be prepared. Make sure that you have your phone. Your phone is fully charged. You got comfortable shoes on. Make sure you do that. And maybe if you need an extra phone, I normally carry at least 2 or 3 phones that you have an actual power bank charger for your phone if you're going to go out and do scanning, or if you've got your own scanner, which is awesome for some people, that you use that to be able to go out there and do that research. If you are planning on using coupons or gift cards or anything, that you have all of that together. If you're using a cashback card, like make sure you got everything. Um, it's some from time to time you may need to tweak your sourcing schedule, and I would tweak it based off of maybe upcoming holidays, tweak it based off of upcoming um, events, based off of like when a store is potentially going to put stuff on clearance. Again, making friends with the store managers and the department supervisors and whatever else will help you to know when some stuff is going to go on clearance. um, so the next thing, there are people that I know that do this retail arbitrage thing, and they make a full day of it. And so, if you're going to make a full day of it, that's fantastic. Again, mapping out your route and knowing what you're going to do is good. So, figuring out which stores you're going to go to. And here's the other thing, I would have my replenishables ready. You should always be looking at your data to know which one of your products are selling like crazy and which ones aren't. And so have your replenishables ready to go on that list of things when we talk about being prepared. And if you're making a full day of it, then that will make your opportunity to go to some of these stores and get in and get out really quick, because you've already got your list of those things that are selling like hotcakes, and you can just get in and get out for those things. But the other things, again, things that you're like, maybe I'm going to have to go scan the clearance section, or I'm going to Walmart to go look for secret clearance or secret the glitches that Walmart sometimes has. And there are stores that are, some Walmart stores, like they will have specific discounts. So you go to one Walmart, they don't have those discounts for the same item. And that's only because this particular location has marked it down, but the other ones are not marking it down. And that could be a strategic Walmart thing. So cut down your time tremendously. Figure out, which days you're going to make a full day of it. So then that way, if you're going to go 2 days a week, or if you're going to go 3 days a week, that way you'll have time to come back and the next day prep the inventory to be able to list. And depending on which method you use, I like the scan and list, and we're going to talk about that. Or and then also to ship to your fulfillment centers if you're going to ship it, or be prepared to ship it to your customers if you have bought some things that are selling like crazy. Source from multiple locations of a specific store. So we go to Walmart, of course, that's one of them, but we also hit some of the CVS's and the Walgreens. And so we hit a variety of CVS's and Walgreens and a variety of Walmarts. I can remember one time we were doing some sourcing for Black Friday, and I think that we hit 12 Walgreens and 6 CVS's in like one day. It was just crazy. It was a lot of driving. And I was visiting somewhere else. I was not even at home. I was in Kansas. And so again, being strategic, like, okay, like map out where they are so you can hit those multiple locations, especially if there's an amazing deal going on, so you can get all of the inventory or clear the shelf. Or in case there is a secret, the Walmart glitch or a special sale that's going on, you want to hit as many stores as you can to boost up your inventory. So that's one of the strategies I definitely use for Q4. So source all the stores in one area to minimize driving. Look, gas prices are high. Gas prices are crazy. So yes, if you know you're going to the Walmart, you need to go ahead and pull up Google Maps and see what other stores happen to be near that area. What other stores are in the strip mall? What other stores are standalone brick and mortars that are in that area, so you can be more effective and efficient in your shopping. And then late night shopping a few times a month. Um, that may be helpful to you, because sometimes they're clearing the shelves and making room for other products. So that could be products that you'll be able to find. So if you do late night shopping, you can see those things that sold like crazy, and you'll be like, okay, make a note because that thing sold out. Like they don't have any more. They've got, only one left in the pink, but they sold out of all the blue, green, and yellow. So whatever that happens to be. And it'll give you some hints on what to look for, and also what could become your next replens. When you're scanning, there are a few additional items to be aware of. Check the subcategories when you are scanning. So I normally, when I am looking up something on my phone, if I am searching using the Amazon Seller app, then I will type it in. I will do speech to text. First, I'll scan the UPC. Then I'll do speech to text for the particular item, regardless of whether I did or didn't find it. And then I will also uh, would also type it in. Sometimes when you type it in, you'll find that it's in a secondary category and it has a much better rank, which is good for you. Normally, the primary category comes up first, and the secondary categories are only visible when you're sitting down in front of your computer or if you go through the shopping app versus the seller app, okay, or the buying app. So sometimes you can find that the item has a much better rank in those other secondary categories, but most of the time, the primary category is going to be the first one that you see. The other thing is to check for reviews. This is going to help you determine whether or not you feel like this is something I want to source or sell. If it has a lot of reviews and they're good, that's normally a good sign that that product is moving. And it has high reviews. That's an indication that the product is moving. If they have bad reviews, sometimes there are days where they have a bad batch of a specific item. Let's say I'm going to use something simple, like, I don't know, minute rice. Like, minute rice is something you can buy at the grocery store and at Walmart and Target and everywhere else. So, getting some bad reviews on minute rice, it could have been just one bad batch. Okay. So be mindful of that and keep that in mind. But if it is bad reviews all the time, that's probably a product you don't want to sell because you're not trying to put your account in jeopardy. So keep that in mind as you're going through it. Check for the competition. When you're checking for the competition, consider future competition, other Amazon sellers, their available quantity, and any clearance items or buying availability. So checking the competition is important to consider that. Whether or not you're going to sell this item in the future or potentially be able to sell it in the future. I love looking for clearance items and then being able to find those items, like at other stores. When I go to other stores, if I'm just going to hit a whole bunch of Walmarts in one day. And sometimes when I hit the clearance section, like, I might find a better deal. I'll also go to the grocery stores to see if that particular thing is on clearance as well. As I'm going through that process, I'm being mindful of this thing is on clearance. And if I'm seeing it at multiple locations, more than likely there are other resellers that are seeing the same thing. And so there's probably going to be a bunch that are going to go in if you're going to send them to Amazon FBA or whatnot. So, meaning, at this moment, maybe there's only 10 sellers on the listing, but in about a week and a half to 2 weeks, it'll be like, why is there 150 sellers on this listing? Well, that's because they were all doing the same thing you just did. So be mindful of that. Not saying you don't want to sell that item. If it's moving like hotcakes, you'll eventually get the rotation of the buy box, and that's fine too. But be mindful of that and be prepared for that, because sometimes those other sellers are going to drive the price down drastically because they may or may not know what they're doing, or they've already gotten their money out of it and they just want to get rid of their inventory. So one of the two could be potentially happening, because storage fees these days are a little high. So keep that strategy in mind as you are sourcing at the stores, and you come across something that's great. What is that going to look like in 2 weeks if you've gone to 5 different stores? You see the same thing on clearance at every store. So reverse sourcing is another great way to find some items. Going to go see what things potentially other sellers are selling, or things that have already sold. Okay. So eBay does the whole things that are already sold. You can see some of the things that people are looking for. And the one thing about Amazon is that if they run out of it and there's not another seller to jump on that listing, the only way you're going to potentially find that item is if you are inside of your back office, and you'll be able to potentially see it from there. And what I mean by that is, when you are on the Amazon shopping app, there's no seller on the listing, meaning there's no inventory for it. Let's say they have a blue, I don't know, remote control car. It's probably a good example. So they have a blue remote control car, and that particular blue remote control car is only it's sold out on Amazon. Well, as a shopper, you're not going to be able to see that. They don't show you stuff that's out of stock. Like, unless there's some that's in the pipeline, because Amazon's really good about knowing what's coming in, because people create shipments and then they send it in through UPS, FedEx, whatever, USPS, to the Amazon warehouses. So if they know something's coming in, you may see the message next to it that says it will be available on this date or can ship on this date. That means that they know the inventory is coming in and it's about to be checked into a warehouse somewhere. But under normal circumstances, you wouldn't see it if there's no other person that's added it to their inventory and are about to list it, until it is at a place where it actually gets listed and shipped. So when those scenarios come, you're not going to be able to see that. You're going to have to go to the Amazon buyer app to see Amazon seller app to see what is an opportunity to sell a product. That's one. The other thing is figuring out where that product came from. Where did they sell? So in this instance, sorry, let me go back to the other one. When you have those opportunities where the product is, no one is on the listing, but they don't even know that the listing was available. There's 0 sellers on the listing. That is an opportunity for you to clear the shelf, for you to go and get all of it, clear the shelf, and list it yourself. You can do seller fulfilled, merchant fulfilled, depending on the size of the item. You can send it into an Amazon warehouse. You can send it into Deliver or ShipBob or some other source that you're using for Amazon fulfillment if you don't want to send it to FBA. Or if you're doing eBay, if you're doing Facebook Marketplace, Mercari, again, figure out what you want to do with the inventory. And I always make my decisions based off of the size of the item because I'm not trying to pay a whole bunch in shipping. But the other side of that is figure out whether it's sourced from. Who's the manufacturer? Who's the distributor? And can you get some more of that particular item, especially if it's sold out? Figure out where that is and go establish a wholesale account with those suppliers. That's going to help you be able to continue to sell that item when nobody else is on the listing. So doing some reverse sourcing to try and figure out, where that item is coming from, who's the distributor, who's the manufacturer, do they have any in stock, and being able to sell it is what you want to do there. On replenishables, again, I always say that you probably have a big opportunity to fill your cart full of replenishables. That's actually going to make your shopping or your sourcing more efficient if you're keeping track of the things that are selling and you just go into the store to restock those items. Replenishables can be things that are available year round because there's many different forms of replenishables. You can have replenishables that are available year round. So in other words, it doesn't matter what season it is, and it doesn't matter what holiday is coming up, and it doesn't matter what month or time of the year or what quarter it is. That item is available all the time, no matter what. So it sells all the time. Okay. One item that's like that sells all the time, no matter what, is probably paper plates. Well, no, there's probably a season for that. Paper towels. So not saying that you should sell paper towels because that's a big item, oversized item. But the point is that that's something that sells year round, no matter what. And because of that, it's a great one that you can just send in or you can list and be able to sell it over and over and over and over and over again, no matter what. Cereal, people buy cereal all the time. There's some times of the year where they might buy certain cereals because they're limited editions, but cereal sells all times of the year. Aluminum foil, like people are cooking all the time. Now there are times of the year where they cook a little bit more than others, but they're cooking all times of the year. So think about things that people will buy all year round as your first line of defense for replenishables. The second line of defense for replenishables is paying attention to the things that are selling in your cart. Paying attention to historically what is sold. Thinking about stuff that is sold first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. So you're going to have replenishables that are first quarter replenishables, some that are second, some that are third, some that are fourth. You're going to have seasonal replenishables. You're going to have summer replenishables and fall replenishables and winter and spring replenishables. You're going to have holiday specific replenishables every single holiday. This is the thing that sells over and over again. So I just need to make sure that I have some. So, inflatables sell every single year. People are always buying inflatables no matter what. I feel like some yards are going a little crazy with the inflatables. They have inflatables for Halloween. You have inflatables for Christmas. And so inflatables are about to start kicking up. If you are smart, this is a great time to establish a wholesale account. But in the meantime, you can do retail arbitrage for your inflatables. Okay? So pay attention to the things that are selling. so that you can streamline your sourcing over time. Okay? Restricted categories only apply to Amazon. That's it. There are, well, I won't say that they only apply to Amazon. There are restricted categories on eBay, but it's really more prohibited products or restricted products and bureaus. Those are mainly what's happening on eBay. But for Amazon, they got a whole bunch of categories. And so basically, the majority of the Amazon categories are open and available to all sellers. However, there are brands within those categories that you can't sell, that you have to get approval for. So the restricted categories, this is a list of the restricted categories. And the rest of the categories are open. But people tell me all the time, well, I scanned this and I can't sell it. All right. So it could be that you can't sell the secondary category. So the primary category is open and available, but the secondary category may be restricted and require approval, or the brand may be restricted. One of the two. There are more and more brands that are continuing to get restricted on Amazon, but that does not mean that you cannot sell those. The brands are normally the popular brands. The not so popular brands and not so well known brands are always open on Amazon. There's not a lot of restriction happening on those. So you just want to keep that in mind. Whereas on eBay, you don't have the same level of restrictions that you do on Amazon. So eBay has a restricted, like I said, restricted products restricted products or restricted categories, and then prohibited products that you can't sell on eBay for the most part. Amazon does too. They do have a list of restricted products that you can't sell. But again, you can go and Google that list, so you'll have that list available to you. So if you are a person that's looking to get approved for a category or brand, here's my recommendation to you. Consistency. 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 The only way that Amazon is going to potentially approve you to be able to sell a product in a secondary category or a specific brand is if they can consistently see that you are listing, you're consistently selling, you're consistently fulfilling orders or seeing them in the FBA. Over time, with that level of consistency, they will start to automatically approve you. So you will scan something on your phone while you're outsourcing, and you will click list, and you will get you're restricted from selling this item, or you cannot sell this item. And so then you can click on the little button where the little list button would normally be. You would click on the request button. Once you click on the request button, then sometimes Amazon will automatically approve you based on your prior activity and history. If you have not been consistent in selling, if you have not been consistent in listing, if you have not been consistent in selling, sourcing, then you're more than likely not going to automatically get approved. They're going to require some extra stuff. And so the extra stuff is typically going out and buying 5 to 10 of that specific product, or a product in that category, secondary category, or that specific brand from a wholesale supplier. And then having it, getting an invoice for it with your business name on it. And highly recommend that the business name matches what your account is established as a seller, your seller account. And then putting that ASIN, writing that ASIN number on there onto the purchase order or the invoice that you receive from the wholesale supplier, and submitting that to Amazon for approval to be able to sell in that secondary category, to sell that brand. That's the strategy to be able to get approved to be able to sell those. So again, I'll go over it again. You scan an item and says, I'm not approved. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is just be consistent. That's the first thing, because you can automatically get approved without having to do any extra stuff just by being consistent. So consistently selling, consistently sourcing, consistently listing, consistently, okay, over a 3 to 6, 9, 12-month span, okay? Then the second part of that is, if you do need to request approval, you really want to get this particular product, you want to be able to sell this particular product or brand in this category. Then you're going to go to the secondary, you're going to, on your Amazon seller app or in your Amazon Seller Central, you're going to click on, for this particular product or whatever product, you're going to click on the request button when you get the "you are restricted from selling" message. So whenever you get the restricted from selling message, click on the request button. Once you click on the request button, what's going to happen is either it's going to automatically approve you and say, hey, you can sell this item now, or it is going to ask you for documentation. If it asks you for documentation, here's how you get the documentation. Step one is to establish a wholesale account or an account with a distributor for a product, for this product, or for a product in that secondary category, or for a product, that brand. Okay. Legos is an example. So if you want to be able to sell Legos, that doesn't mean you have to go out and get the most expensive of the Legos. You're just trying to get the approval. So you can go get some Legos that may not be moving as much. You can get dirt cheap. You just want to get approved to be able to sell Legos. So you buy 5 to 10 of the Legos from a wholesale supplier or a wholesale distributor. And when you place the order and you have your purchase order or your invoice, you're going to note on it the ASIN for the particular product that you're working on getting approval. So if it's the cheapest Lego that they have that maybe is not even moving, but you don't care, get the ASIN for that Lego and write it on that invoice or that purchase order. You're going to submit that to Amazon for approval. Make sure the information about your business matches your seller account. That's going to make the process go a lot faster. If there's a discrepancy, it will slow things down or you may be denied. So I just want you to be prepared for that. The other thing is that if you do get denied, if you get that request button and then they say we need documentation, you can also use another strategy, which is to upload a document that says, please remove my request for this item that it was submitted in error. And then if you do that, if it was submitted in error and we just say that it was, then go ahead and make a note of what category, secondary category, main category, that you were working to get approval on. Make a note of that. Put it a little tickler in your file. Put something on your Google Calendar to come back and in 6 months after you've been consistent or 3 months after you've been consistent to try to get approval again for that particular brand. They may automatically approve you or they may say, we still need documentation. Amazon is kind of fickle and weird about that, so I can't tell you which one's going to happen. But again, being consistent will never hurt you. All right, so I hope that's helpful. Go back and listen to that a second time. Hopefully it makes sense the second time around. So one of the things I said earlier is that the lower the rank, the faster the item is moving. The lower that is the sales rank is, the faster it is selling. So in this example document that we are looking at, we can go to, and this is an old one, I can tell you that right now. So, and the sales ranks will change from month to month and quarter to quarter. So I just want you to know that. As you get into December, get into October, November, these sales rank numbers and what's in the 1%, 2%, 3%, 4, 5%, and 10% is definitely going to change. So I'm going to go look at toys. Toys says that in the top 1%, these are items that are definitely moving. 85,000. If the sales rank is 85,000 or below, that's what you want. Well, I will tell you, I personally, for toys, I am looking for toys that are at least 50 to 45,000 below. Okay, so when I come across a toy that's 11,000, it doesn't have a lot of competition, I'm approved to be able to sell it, I'm going to grab it, especially if it has a good ROI. In other words, I can make some money off of it. If it is one where I can't make any money on it, like the price that it's selling for right now and the price that it's selling for on Amazon are the same, then I'll be like, oh, maybe I won't sell it. But let me just tell you, I'm going to, for 2 seconds, I'm going to pump the brakes, Thanos. And the reason I'm going to pump the brakes is because if I'm going into Q4, I know that the prices on some of these products are going to continue to go up, not down. So just because the price on Amazon right now and the price in the store are exactly the same, doesn't mean that this item's value is not going to go up later on. So an example of those would be like if there's a movie that came out and there's a figurine, and or if something big happened, and there's a bunch of them that people want to buy. The example I love giving is when the Chewbacca mask came out. I know that was like 2017. I think it was 2017. And that was the mom who went viral because she put on a Chewbacca mask and she was cracking up when she was talking. And I think she was doing a video, a TikTok, a Vine or whatever. And It was so hilarious. And the video went viral. And then a bunch of people went out and wanted to get the mask. So the mask was initially selling for the same price in the store as it was online. But eventually, the online price and value of that particular mask started going up. And some of the stores actually went up just a little bit. But the point is, that price did not stay the same. So if it's something that's potentially going to go viral, or there's a movement around it, there's something major that's happened around it, the value of that particular item is probably going to be much higher than what it is right now. So I might grab it at this price that's equivalent to the store price right now, knowing that I can sell it later on for 3 times that price. So keep those things in mind. But I like 45,000 and below. And so if it's in the top 1%, more than likely this particular item is going to sell within the next 6 weeks to 90 days or less. So be prepared when you make your investment in your inventory that you buy. Be prepared that it may not sell for 6 to 12 weeks. So, in other words, buy it and then you're just buying and holding at this point. Don't freak out. It could sell in 2 hours, it could sell in 2 days, it could sell in 2 weeks, it could sell in 2 months. Just be prepared for that. People are going to buy it when they're going to buy it. But as you get closer to Q4, almost everything is going to sell and everything is going to move. So these seller ranks are going to change. Now, why do you care about this if you're not selling on Amazon? Because you can use what the activity and what's happening on Amazon to determine how quickly potentially your product is going to sell on the platform that you do sell on. So if you're selling on Walmart or you're selling on eBay, you might actually be able to gauge how long you're potentially going to be holding this piece of inventory because it's moving like crazy on Amazon, or it's starting to move like crazy on Amazon. So use the Amazon shopping app, even if you're not an Amazon seller, use that to scroll down to the product information and look at the seller rank. It's going to help you in that process. So this is a link to the Amazon sales rank chart. I just showed you one. You want to sell in the 1 and 3%. So let me go back. You want to sell here, here, and here. Okay. So you're only picking up inventory that's in these ranks. I like to stay in the 1%. If I'm going to be 1,000% honest, I stay in the 1%. I don't even go into the 2, 3, 5, 10. I don't do that. I just sell in the 1%. I'm just telling you right now. I also do a Google search for Amazon bestsellers and I look for bundle opportunities. I go to Amazon movers and shakers and I look for bundle opportunities. I Google Walmart top selling and I look to see what's selling there. And I also go to watch count for eBay and check out sold on eBay just to see what's moving. So I can figure out what are the things I potentially need to be sourcing. Now, if I'm paying attention year over year, I've already grabbed my eCom planner. So I can make a note of those things that have been selling and I can use that as my record keeping system for the next year. Or you can create a Google Sheet, whatever works for you. All right. Google Trends is another one you can use to do research. So, what should you be sourcing and selling over the next 3 months? Well, some of these things are more like I would source and sell these things in the spring, but I am going to run through this list very quickly. Health and beauty items, definitely, all the COVID stuff, they have a lot of restrictions there. Food items and perishable items, definitely. I mean, food is going to continue to sell all the way to the end of the year. People are going to be cooking for family reunions, weddings, things that they've been holding off for a year, 2 years, 3 years to be able to do these things. Like 2020 got canceled and 2021 got canceled. So we're having a family reunion in 2022. That's what some of them are saying. So they're going to get together. There's going to be people going to be buying paper plates, plastic cups, all that stuff. An opportunity for you to sell and make some money. And food, of course, lots of food. But perishable items, so people are going to be getting together for the 4th of July. They're going to be getting together for sporting events. They're going to be going camping. They're going to be getting together for Labor Day. They're going to be getting together Halloween. There's going to be food, lots of candy sold there. And then parties. People are going to be having parties. And then Thanksgiving, food, lots of people buying food products there. And then Christmas. So food is going to sell like crazy from now to the end of the year. It just is. And that's always an opportunity to sell things. Um, So I always think about what are the things that people want to buy in the store next month, or things that people only buy from the store once a month. So what are those things that people will be buying in the store in July? Those are the things I probably should be looking at for right now. Or what are the things that people are going to be buying in the store in August? Probably looking for those things right now. Or what are the things that they go to the store and they buy once a month? I probably should write down those things. So learning items for the summer and summer clothes and swimsuits. We're already into the summer for most of us. So again, those things are going to continue to sell because in the United States they stagger when kids get out of school, and so families have to figure out when they're going to take vacations. So when the kids get out of school in Texas is completely different from when the kids get out of school in Missouri. Okay, so different times, off by several weeks or off by 1 week. So um, gardening and lawn things. People may want to get out here and play in their lawns, but they normally do that more in March and April. It's still an opportunity. Fall items. Fall is coming. My strategy is always when summer comes, I source for the fall. So fall is coming. Air purifiers and filters. COVID is still here, so it is what it is. Baskets, spray bottles, cleaning supplies. Again, COVID is still here. It is what it is. People are going to be getting together with family members and friends, so they're going to definitely need that. Back to school items, supplies, clothes, prepping for back to school. I've been talking about back to school, I think, since March. Okay. So if you're not ready for back to school, I'm sorry, but that's on you. I've been talking about it. You need to get ready. As a matter of fact, I need to go list all my back to school supplies now. Baby and pet, always one that sells all the time because people are always getting pets, and people are always having babies. Like they're not gonna stop having babies. Fitness clothes, workout equipment, light workout equipment. Definitely something that sells. There's certain times of the year that those really pick up and sell. So you could do a Google Trends search for that. Um, Labor Day and hurricane season. So if you don't know, hurricane season actually starts in June. Believe it or not. So, looking for those things for the upcoming activities and also 4th of July. And I wrote down a bunch of activities, grilling. People are going to be doing grilling, picnics, beach. They're going to be going on vacation. They're going to need luggage, like all that stuff. So keep all of these things in mind and things that they might need on going back to school. So for you, I do have an activity for you to do. You need to build a budget. You should know how much money you plan on investing every single week into your business, because retail arbitrage is one of those businesses where you need to feed the beast. You need to be sourcing all the time. Now, it doesn't mean you always have to spend money all the time. You can find things around the house, you can find things at different places to be able to source. It doesn't always have to be new. You can source and sell used things. So thrift stores always work. Garage sales, church sales, community sales, those are happening right now. Store closures and liquidations might be something you want to look into because there's a lot of returns. And the latest is again that um, Target canceled some of their orders from their vendors. So they're basically saying, we know you guys already created these things. You've already started shipping them to us, but we are not going to be accepting them. We're not paying you for them, which is crazy. So what does that mean? That inventory is going to go out into the universe somewhere. Somebody's going to have to pick it up. Somebody's going to be able to sell it. So that's an opportunity for you to go and see where Target returns or Target liquidation is going and start sourcing from there. But look for those opportunities to spend a little bit of money. I can tell you, you can run your e-commerce business by making the commitment to invest no less than $25 every single week for 6 to 12 weeks, every single week. Don't take any money out. Add $25 every single week and then reinvest whatever your profits are every single week. Try that strategy for 12 weeks. You will be surprised how much money you'll have to invest and reinvest into your business after that 12-week period. Because all of your sales, if you're investing 100% of the profits back into the business, back into the business, back into the business, it is amazing. Now, if you were to do that strategy for a full year, oh yeah, your whole business, everything about your business would have changed. So if you can do 12 weeks, it's a game changer. It'll help you a lot. If you do a full year, it's a game changer. It's game over. So the scan and list method is going out and scanning items and then clicking on the list button. The list button is right here. When you click on it, so the reason you would do scan and list is when you go out and you source in any store. Doesn't matter what store it is. You're going to scan the item, and then once you scan it, you determine whether or not it is profitable or not, and whether or not you can sell it. And if you can sell it and you're approved to be able to sell it, then you can click list at that time and add it to your inventory. Now, if you're going to add it to your inventory and you plan on shipping it to the customer, then you are going to go to this third page because it's going to take you through the process. This third page is like, I want to ship it to the customer myself. That means that that listing becomes live and active right there before you even leave the store. And so there's many a story about people who will scan and immediately list and get a sale before they've even purchased the item and checked out the store. Okay. The other thing is if you decide you're going to do Amazon FBA, you can scan and list, and it will be added to your back office inventory for you to package it up and ship to Amazon later on. Now, if you are not selling on Amazon whatsoever and you're selling on some of the other platforms, you won't see these options. This will not apply to you at all. But if you are selling on Amazon, this will apply to you, and you can use this scan and list method to save you time when you get home so you don't have to add things to your inventory, and you can just, keep it pushing, keep it moving, run your business efficiently and fast. So once you decide that you're going to list the item, you're going to click on submit your listing, whether you're going to ship it or ship it into Amazon, or whether you're going to ship it to the customer. You just have to pick which radio button you're going to use. And you'll get a message that says you've successfully listed the item. So how to optimize your listing? There's a couple of things, and I'm going to go through this a little quickly. One of the things that I would encourage you to do is, if you have the opportunity to scan an item, when you do scan and list, you're doing what's called piggybacking off of an existing listing. So when you piggyback off of a listing, that means that the title stays the same, the picture stays the same, the description stays the same. You do have the ability to do some editing in your back office when you go to Seller Central, and some of that editing is limited. If Amazon has sees that the changes that you made they like, then sometimes you can hide what's called hijacking that listing because you've made improvements or enhancements to the listing in some kind of way. If someone hijacks the list, if you're the original creator, somebody hijacks the listing from you because they made changes to the listing that Amazon likes, you can always request to regain control of that listing again. You just have to go back to Amazon and say, hey, I'm the original creator of this listing and I'd like to get it back. That happens sometimes when I create bundles, when people come in and they want to hijack my listing. But in any case, if you happen to create a listing from scratch, whether you're creating it on eBay, Walmart, Facebook Marketplace, Mercari, doesn't matter. These are some things that you want to keep in mind. One, the first 5 words of that listing are extremely important. I don't care which platform you're on. The first 5 words are very important. In some platforms, the first 5 to 7 words are extremely important. Number 2, you need to have amazing photos. People are buying things. They are visual buyers. So the first thing they're doing is they're typing in a word. They type in the word bike because they're looking for a bicycle. Maybe they are looking for a 29-inch or 26-inch boys bike. Okay. So they type in 26-inch boys bike, or they type in boys bike. And then, they buy based off of the picture. They will see the picture before they even read the words. They will see the picture before they read the words. So make sure that the picture is amazing. And then they'll start the process of reading the words to see if, based on what they saw, if that's what they like. Now, I'm going to give you another example. When you see, I don't know if any of you watch TV, but if you do watch TV, sometimes, depending on where you live, you see a Carl's Jr. Commercial. Carl's Jr. burgers. The commercials are amazing. Everything that they do, they make them look so mouthwatering and so good that you want a Carl's Jr. burger. You don't know which kind it is. You have no idea. You haven't read any words on the screen. You are just visually looking at that hamburger and going, oh my God, that looks super juicy. And I can smell the burger through the TV. Okay. That is emotional buying and or emotional interest in the product for sure. And so the fact that you can sort of smell the product and not even have it in front of you, that you want it so bad, you want to plug into the buyer's emotions. Plugging into the buyer's emotions is going to help you sell more products. So if your images are amazing, think about that Carl's Jr. burger. Or if there's another commercial that you've seen where the food just looks like, oh my gosh, I want that. Whatever that is, I want that. I want you to think about that. So the picture needs to be amazing. The words are going to help you be found organically. So the words you have in the listing are going to help you to be found organically. So getting good at keyword research and populating the search term fields or the intended use fields, or making sure that that information is somewhere in the description if you're not going to populate the back end keyword fields, that's going to help your product be found organically in the search engines. Okay. So all of this applies. I don't care which platform you're selling on. Amazing pictures, amazing pictures, amazing pictures. First 5 to 7 words. They need to be what the item is and or how the people are searching for it. Okay. So I've used the example of a ceramic flat iron to flatten out your hair. There are people that really, really swear by ceramic flat irons. There's only a handful of brands that people care about. So if your brand is a generic brand, and or if it's not something that people are looking for, don't put the name brand of the ceramic flat iron in the first 5 words. Put it like after that, because people are looking for the word ceramic flat iron. They are not looking for a Remington ceramic flat iron. They could care less about that. Put Remington on the tail end. So that's another tip that I want to give you. But make sure you populate the search terms, intended use, all that stuff, things that are going to appeal to your target audience. And one additional thing, especially as you get closer to Q4, be thinking about when people are buying a specific product, like sometimes the words uh, gifts for dad, or a great gift for dad, or a great gift for uncles or granddad or husbands or whatever, all of those, like when you see that gifts for dad, like some people that put those in their listings, they get more sales than other people. So again, what is the intended use of this product? If it is a product that's intended to be used as a gift, then put that in there. You know, put it in there. It won't hurt. It'll actually help. All right. So seller fulfilled orders. The thing that you need to remember is we looked at the app. Make sure that you're going in. One, you're checking your back office for notifications that you had a sale so that you can go through the process of fulfilling that order yourself. So you got to buy the shipping and be able to package up the item and put in the tracking number to send that item off to the customer. You can also get notifications on your seller app if you're selling on Amazon. If you're not selling on Amazon, you're selling on other platforms. Again, the other platforms have a way of notifying you that your item has sold and it's time for you to ship it. So whether you're using, eBay app, Walmart, which Walmart doesn't give you that, but you got to go to the computer. But they will send you emails, and Macari, whatever. Make sure you're paying attention to whatever method of communication that platform is using to get in touch with you to notify you that you have a sale, and make sure that you're putting the tracking number in there as quickly as you can, the first opportunity. All right, that's the biggest thing that I want you to remember. And then when you're shipping seller fulfilled orders, make sure that you put in the tracking number for sure, but also be mindful of things that you're selling, that if they're oversized, the shipping's going to cost you a lot. Be mindful of how you package it, because if it's breakable or if it's flimsy or thin, you don't want it to um, be returned or be broken by the time the customer gets it. So make sure that you go through the process of protecting the item as you're shipping it out. And if you need to buy shipping supplies, um, I would do that. I would definitely buy that in bulk if you're doing the merchant fulfilled. If you're using fulfillment center and you're, seller fulfilled or merchant fulfilled, but you're using fulfillment center, then they'll take care of all that stuff for you. But make sure you confirm the order. Make sure you check the address. Make sure that you ship exactly what the person has bought. Make sure they've paid. Here's another tip. I normally wait about 4 to 6 hours before I actually mark up item as shipped and ship it. The reason I do that is because people have what's called buyer's remorse. And so they'll come back and they will cancel an order. And you'll be like, what the? And you've already shipped it. So then you're kind of semi screwed. So if you wait 4 to 6 hours, you kind of wait out that whole buyer's remorse period. It's not a guarantee, but it does cut down on some of it. And then when it comes to Q4, I will sometimes wait 8 hours because of the fact that I am not trying to deal with a whole bunch of stuff, or 8 to 10 hours. And I'll just wait because of the fact that I'm not trying to have problems with stuff that I've already shipped out, and now you have buyer's remorse and it's already gone. So keep that in mind. Put the tracking number in there, but wait a minute, or buy the tracking in 8 hours and then ship it in 10. All right. So it's a lot of great tips here for seller fulfilled. The shipping, the packaging, all of that stuff. I would just say, think about how you receive packages. You want the first impression, or the impression that the customer gets when they receive the package, to be a good one. So don't send stuff in crazy boxes. Don't send stuff in crazy packaging. Be mindful of that, because again, you'd be sort of semi weirded out if you receive something with 9 layers of duct tape and a paper and a grocery bag and another plastic bag with some newspaper. Like, okay, what is this? I don't even know who this is coming from. I mean, I'm glad that I received the item, but this is a little weird way to ship it. So try to be professional, work on being professional, get the shipping supplies that you need, order them in advance so you have them, and make sure that, depending on the platform that you sell on, if you're not allowed to use like packing peanuts, that you don't do that, especially if you're sending it, of course, to Amazon. But and also, I think WFS doesn't like them either. So when you're shipping it to your customer, peanuts may be okay. But it could be a choking hazard for a little kid that gets a hold of it when they get there. So again, think about that, because you have business insurance. So be mindful of those things. So be professional when you ship your stuff off. All right. Now, last but not least, how to scale your business. One is to work a regular schedule and be consistent. Okay. I will tell you, that is one of the best ways to scale your business, because when you're regularly working in your business, you find those opportunities to improve things, to enhance things, to streamline things, to automate things. And it also helps you with regular revenue so you can scale. So being consistent, building a real schedule, those two things. Outsource where you have the opportunity, once you're consistent and once you're profitable. If you're not profitable and you're not consistent, then don't outsource anything. I don't care if it's outsourcing the software so you can list faster. I don't care if it's outsourcing to hire a VA so you can, do product research or whatever. Don't outsource anything until you're consistent. Otherwise, you're going to be negative. You're just going to be negative. You're not going to make any money, and you'll be losing money. And you'll say that e-commerce thing doesn't work. And that's because you started outsourcing before you were ready. Um, so reinvest, like I said, 90% of your profits, or 100%. 100% for the first year would be awesome. That's going to allow you to scale very quickly. So again, for 1 year, for 12 months, act like you're not making any money from the business and reinvest 100% of it. You'll be able to scale and quit your job much quicker if that's your plan. Gradually increase your investments every single month. So if you start off with the $25 every single week for 12 weeks, after 12 weeks, and you're reinvesting 100% of the profits on top of that $25. So after that 12 weeks is over, increase that to, $35 or $50 every single month, plus whatever you're reinvesting, if you're going to continue the reinvesting, or whatever you decide to pull out. Sell niches, or consider starting, selling, creating your own private label product. Now, there is true private label and there is quasi, semi private label. Semi private label to me is like taking a product and then you just put your brand and name or change one thing about it. That's not true private label. Like true private label is those people who have schematics and they create something from scratch, and they build something brand new with the manufacturer, including everything about it. Whereas if you're working with someone and they've already got packaging for it, they've already got everything, you just putting your brand on the outside of the packaging, that is partial private label. That's not real private label. So think about whether or not you have the opportunity to create private label products. Also, consider buying wholesale. Um, that's another opportunity to scale your business. You want to negotiate, you probably have to establish accounts, and you'll have to negotiate with some of them potentially, or they may have a catalog that they've already giving you the lowest price as possible. So some of the wholesale suppliers may have a membership account, especially if they're doing some level of drop shipping as well. So meaning shipping it to your customer for you. And then learn your store's inventory pattern and schedule. Walmart twice a year will go through and do a full audit of the store, and they will also mark down toys really, really, really ridiculously low twice a year because they have to make room for other stuff. So keep that in mind. This is that window in which Walmart is marking down a whole bunch of toy stuff because they got to make room for the inventory they're going to be receiving here in the next month if they don't already have it in their back offices. All right. So I hope this information is helpful to you. I hope you use it to go make some money. I love retail arbitrage. If you're in the Dallas Fort Worth area, we're going to be starting up the retail arbitrage again. I'm working on my endurance. We're going for walks so we can work on this endurance so I can walk and talk. But in any case, if you have any questions, you can type your questions below in the comments in the section right now so that we can answer those questions for you. You can also, of course, email support if you have questions. But retail arbitrage is a great way to get started. Make sure you use that to your advantage and jump in. The water is fine. Rip the Band-Aid off and get going. With that, I am going to say goodbye for now. This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers. If you're not part of eCom Sellers Academy, we invite you to come join us and come hang out. We have a live weekly training session every single week, and we have live Q&A. In addition to that, we also give you 10 free retail arbitrage leads every week and 10 free wholesale supplier lists. So we'll say goodbye for now. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Write your questions in the comments, and we will answer them.